When it comes to uniforms that haven't been released yet, there's mock-ups, there's rumors, and then there are the rules. And that's what I see a lot of people are missing ahead of year 2. So many mock-ups and predictions we see online are cool, creative if we're being real, but most of them are just flat out wrong. You see, rivalries may be new and different, but it's much more controlled than the fan-made anything goes concepts we see online nowadays. There's Texans helmets with rocket ships. Some even look ahead to year 3 and 4 and mock up the Commanders with pink jerseys and cherry blossoms on their helmet. Boy, they high. I admit, trying new wild looks can be fun, but that just isn't how Nike or the NFL gets down. And they aren't going to start with rivalries. Like I've said on many occasions, Nike's NFL uniforms are a templated product, and rivalries is no different. In this video, I uncover the rules of this initiative that allow us to predict what teams will do with their designs for this year and the future as other divisions come. Starting with the most evident one. The looks have been described as rooted extensively in the legacies and inspirations true to each team, which is basically code for take a real regional idea and translate it into modern NFL performance wear, making rivalries a special alternate, not a full rebrand. We already know the uniform itself enters the team's uniform lineup for 3 years, sits alongside existing alternates, and is worn during one home divisional game per season. So that right there should tell you Nike has an incentive to keep the concepts clear, wearable, and commercially durable rather than extreme. So judging from the first year of rivalries, the designs are supposed to read and feel like love letters to that specific market. The design changes tend to be in textures, striping, patterning, and palette choices rather than radical silhouette changes. Which brings me to rule number 2, helmet continuity. NFL helmets are a team's biggest marketing asset. So all the graphic artists out there throwing a team's secondary logo or some other conceptualized decal on the helmet, just go ahead and clock out. Look at every helmet from last year. The stripe and decals are the same as their primary helmet, but with matte finishes or adopting a different color palette, which creates an exclusive version of their trademark helmet instead of a brand new concept. So a Niners superfan can add that all black helmet to their collection, which isn't a gimmick. It's actually being worn by the team once a season for 4 straight years. That's why we get a Seahawks iridescent helmet, the Patriots shifting from silver to that white base helmet, or the Bills adding a metallic finish to their trademark charging buffalo. Now, let's get into rule number 3, material storytelling. Nike is clearly using fabric textures and finishes to catapult each franchise into modern uniform advancement, referencing local environment and history, which is why you get things like weathered, icy, desert, or marine-inspired surfaces rather than just print graphics. Don't believe me? Just look at the Dolphins, who have a number stroke that is reflective like water in the ocean. The Bills leaned into cold weather and regional texture with their snow-covered shoulders and pants stripe. The Cardinals utilized an egg-themed pattern and desert-colored tone on their rivalries uniform. The Patriots incorporated local nautical fishnet cues rather than Patriot imagery. The Rams featured LA Knight-inspired tones in the color of their numbers, which is why we can expect the same level of environmental inspiration with this year's rollout. It signifies Nike is more interested in place-based symbolism than surface-level novelty. Piggybacking off of that, because the program is phased and temporary in each team's annual rotation, Nike can test stronger ideas without permanently changing the core brand. So Nike gets to experiment or do a trial run of the 1 to 2 modern design elements that they are pushing directly for the future. I'm talking 3D patches, alternate fabrics, and embroidery details, and materials that they can make signature to one team, one uniform, which goes hand in hand with the design trends I covered in this video here. So if you haven't watched that, I suggest you check it out. Then it brings me to color palettes, which is one of the trademarks of rivalries. Unlike alternate uniforms and primary uniform overhauls, teams can't really deviate from their identity when it comes to colors, but rivalries is different. Year 1 showed us teams adjust the shade of their signature color and remove or severely tone down one of the colors from their primary palette. Looking ahead to year 2, we already have each team's colorway, which shows this principle in action for a second time. The Houston Texans are going with white, what Nike calls Italy blue, which is really H-Town blue, and white. The Colts have anthracite and gem blue. The Jags will feature natural, metallic gold and black. The Titans are going coast, white and college navy. Chicago is sticking with marine, white and university orange, which has me doubting the possibility of us getting something vastly different than we've gotten from them before. The Lions have filled silver, blue spark, and black. Green Bay with their vintage green, alabaster, university gold and black, and then the Vikings with purple dynasty, metallic gold, and pale ivory, which sort of gives me Baltimore Ravens vibes. And I expect they'll use iridescent elements similar to the Ravens' new primary uniforms. But the teams are not just changing colors for style. They're trimming or muting certain colors so each design can support a shared visual language of weather, region, and rivalry without looking like a random alternate mashup. Which is exciting as a fan to feel like you're buying a limited drop that is connected to a fusion of fashion and fandom. Last but not least, shared visual system. Rivalries is being built as a cohesive league system, not 8 isolated fashion experiments. The deeper rule is that Rivalries appears to be designed like a match set across all 32 teams, even though each club has its own story. Nike is balancing contrast. Some teams skew light, some dark, some cold, some warm, but they all stay within a controlled range so the whole program feels intentional rather than hectic. That matters because the uniforms are not meant to dominate the entire season visually the way Color Rush did, which gives Nike room to avoid the biggest Color Rush mistake, overcommitting to a dramatic color gimmick that doesn't age well. Nike and the league need the collection to feel balanced in photos, broadcast, retail, and social media, so no one club looks like it's pulling the whole program too far in one direction. Color Rush may have worked as a one-night spectacle, but it often created visual clashes, identity confusion, and let's call it what it is, color fatigue. On the flip side, Rivalry seems more calibrated. So even when one team gets a heavily desaturated look and another gets a darker, moodier palette, the program still feels unified because the common rule is local story first, brand second, spectacle third. Now for the fun part. Let's see these rules in action. We already have the colors, so let's add a few design details from each city. Then throw in a couple futuristic touches, keep some of their existing design language, and rework the helmet so that it's the same, but different. And voila! And you'll notice that even with our early Rivalries concepts and mock-ups, while it's impossible to perfectly predict what each team's uniform will look like exactly, these rules help you to think like you're part of Nike's design team rather than following personal preference or whimsical ideas. In the end, it's time we all collectively stop viewing Rivalries as a run of constant chaos and more like a curated design lab. It's clear Nike is building a program that protects team identity while steadily pushing the NFL into more fashion-forward, market-specific storytelling that connects with the city, the fans, and most of all, the players. And as uniform enthusiasts, journalists, graphic designers, it's only right to fully understand and honor the intentions of why this program was established. Hopefully now you're more excited for year 2 and can start to accurately visualize what your team's Rivalries uniform will look like. Let me know your thoughts on all of these rules, man. Do you agree or do you see something different? One conversation that I'm willing to explore is if any of you believe a team will creatively break any of these rules. If so, who? And if looking at all these uniforms got you wanting a jersey or a piece of merch for yourself, I got the link in the description as always. Thanks for watching this video to the end. Make sure to hit that like button for your mans one time and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. My name is Vinny, I'm known by many, and this is Deep in the Field where you know we keep it real, and I'm gonna get at y'all real soon. Peace! Deep in the field, yeah, you know deep in the field. Deep in the field, yeah, gotta keep it real. Deep in the field, so deep in the field, yeah, I gotta keep it real. Deep NFL, yeah, I gotta keep it real.